CEO, Ryan Tarrant. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Bart. How you doing? 25 years. That's a heck of a run.
Well, we were talking before the show. What's 25 years to you?
Well, this year it'll be 25 years married.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. Thank you.
Happy anniversary.
I appreciate that. Yeah. You were what, Owen's age when you started?
Just a little bit over. I was 44.
Okay.
45. I don't know. Yeah, 45. Right around there. 44 when JTV started.
Okay.
So,
great.
yeah.
Good.
And you've been in Jackson now. You're no longer a newcomer.
Not anymore. 2.5 years.
Awesome.
So,
how do you like it?
loving it. So we just had our first grandbaby last weekend.
Oh my gosh! Another reason to ring the bell.
All right. We're having a big year so far.
And your daughter, she lives here.
She does. She's over in Parma.
Awesome. What's the grandbaby's name?
Banks.
Oh,
so
welcome.
We're excited.
Yeah, welcome to Jackson. And that's good for you as an economic developer. You're getting to increase the population of Jackson.
That's right. One baby at a time.
That's right. So this really, we wanted to talk about some of the cool things that have been happening, not just over the 25 years, but really in the time that you've been here, 2025 was a pretty busy year.
It was very busy. We did a lot last year. I mean, you look at some of the things that we were able to accomplish. You haven't seen it yet, but those 11 miles of mountain biking trails over at Ella Sharp, the city is receiving $750,000 from the state of Michigan to revamp those, to expand those. It's going to be incredible. We're looking at doing a bike library there because, whether you're a visitor to the community or you're a kid who maybe doesn't have a mountain bike and wants to go ride with his friends, we feel like everybody should be able to have access to that. So,
awesome.
We're really excited about that.
And I like the term bike library instead of a bike livery, a bike rental.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Come show your ID, come show your card, and grab a bike and be able to go ride. So we want everybody to be able to enjoy it. We want it to be a regional draw for people. They've got a great facility down in Adrian at Heritage Park, and we think we've got something here that we can rival that with. So,
and a lot of people, even natives, have no idea that we have mountain bike trails in Ella Sharp Park.
I didn't know until Steve Trozen told me about them.
Well, they're hidden and they're overgrown, and that's one of the reasons that we're getting a state grant.
Yeah, and really 11 miles, what we've learned as we've done our research, if you get into that 12 to 15 mile range, so, just a little bit longer than what we have now, then it really does become a regional draw, and there's opportunity there to bring in visitors, to have them, help boost our economy.
Yeah, and there's even more planned for Ella Sharp Park. We'll talk more about that with our next guests who are more involved with that, but that includes skate park, pump track, boulder climbing walls, and food court. And
it's incredible how those things just fit together, right? I mean, you look at those things that are happening in Ella Sharp, and what a gem it's going to be, not just in Jackson, but in the state of Michigan.
Plus, biking, that's become something that we are a destination for. And you, as an organization, have created a destination event.
We have.
Last year was the first year for it.
Last year was the first year. It's called Irish Hills Gravel. Started and finished at Michigan International Speedway. Had 165 racers. Primarily that was a regional race, but we had cyclists from as far away as Savannah, Georgia, and New Jersey, and Cleveland who registered and came in just to race, so they could start and finish at MIS. And so, we're gonna go with that again this year on October 17th. We've got a QR code there on the screen. Already we've seen some strong registrations for that. And this year, unlike last year, we're a part of the Michigan Gravel Series. And so that's a series of gravel races around the state of Michigan. So the expectation is we're gonna be double what we were last year.
Are you a cyclist?
I am not, but
yet.
For those who aren't cyclists, there is actually an e-bike category. So you can come and ride your e-bike 30 miles and finish that race just to take part in the experience.
Well, you mentioned Steve Trozen. I was talking to him yesterday, and we were talking about Ella Sharp Park, and he said, on a typical week in the summer, I ride through Ella Sharp Park 7 days. So he's there every day.
He rides quite a bit.
Yeah, he's hardcore. You've got, like today is pretty busy. You have the thing at the Michigan Theater, Destination Uplift.
Destination Uplift had over 110 people who
Wow.
came in person, in addition to those that are doing that online. And so that's, from Experience Jackson and the Chamber's partnering with that. Any small business in Jackson County can join these marketing webinars to learn how to sort of uplift their marketing. I mean, are there some little tools? And what we look at that as we're trying to market our community to visitors, the more strength we have in those small businesses that are marketing themselves and doing it well and having that reach, it just amplifies what we're able to do.
Yeah, so people are always concerned about, oh, we don't have a Cabela's, we don't have this, we don't have that, but that's not what we want to showcase.
No, not necessarily. I mean, we have Bar Howley. We don't need Cabela's. But we've got, you look at something like those gravel roads that can be an asset for tourism. You have the museums, you have the food. When you look at all of these great restaurants that we have, not just in the city of Jackson, but you go out to Brooklyn or out to Mama's on the east side of the county, and it's phenomenal food.
And we've got a lot of little shops, and that is the backbone of your next marketing campaign.
Yeah, and not just shops. I mean, we're sort of taking on this partnership with Storyville. So it's more of a human-centric marketing, where you're telling the story of people versus only marketing a store or a restaurant. It's that person and that story. And so, we talk a lot about what the people of Jackson mean, right? And how great the people are here. And I think sometimes it's easy for us to forget as it's 20 degrees below zero outside, and everything in Michigan kind of looks ugly with the snow and the salt, and but there's really great people doing great things, and we've seen some impressive metrics on this. When you look at we did one on the Village Peddler, and just in the first couple of days we had tens of thousands of people who are viewing this thing. The engagements are up into the thousands, and so but it's really about that person behind the Village Peddler. And what we thought was kind of neat about this one was it wasn't just online. If you look in that bottom left corner there, they actually had one of the other businesses in the community congratulating her for the story. And so you're going to see more and more of these as we go through the next year plus. We want to try and do a couple of these a week as we get rolling, and really just tell the story about the people in Jackson.
Awesome. And this next big thing is going to be launched at your annual meeting, and it is the Drive Jackson results, right?
Yeah, the 20-year vision plan is complete. We've been working through it, 1,300 plus engagements. There on your screen, you see sort of those 4 goal areas that kind of bubbled to the top with, from those 1,300 residents that engaged. They gave us 6,000 or so data points to kind of sift through. We had an incredible committee. This is just a little bit of a snapshot of some of the things that are in that. On the right-hand side there, you have some of the comments. I mean, we did pop-ups out in Grass Lake and Brooklyn and here in Jackson. The committee did table talks, and so gathering some of these quotes about what people were saying about Jackson, was really impactful. And I think seeing people come together, seeing people align behind this is going to be really incredible as we get moving and get rolling. So, looking forward to rolling this out for everyone, and hopefully everybody kind of sees a little bit of themselves in the plan, somewhere where they can jump in and say, hey, I can make an impact here in my own community, whether that's, time, talent, treasure, whatever it is. There's something in there for everybody.
A lot of what I've noticed with this Drive Jackson is it's really forward thinking. The people that are participating and thinking about, and they're only concerned about and talking about the future and not dwelling on the past, which for some in past iterations of these kinds of things in Jackson, they have had negative baggage that have brought them down. I'm not seeing or hearing that or much of that now.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that maybe makes this different than you know, I wasn't here for some of those other plans. I've been here 2.5 years, but I've seen these in other communities, and that happens a lot. You know, people look at the past. It's, you know, a handful of people who sort of put it together, and I think the difference here is it was such a community-based plan that, you know, that's where the feedback came from. When you see what's in here in a couple of weeks, you know, this is what the community said. 1,300 residents. And the other piece is we're already working toward that implementation with Lexi Milliken, who's a Parma Western grad, who was at the Michigan Growth Office, who's now a community growth fellow full-time in Jackson, working on implementation of this.
Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to the rollout of Drive Jackson. And here's a shot of you, I think, from one of your previous appearances, but you don't change much. I think you're pretty much wearing the Ryan Tarrant outfit.
Pretty close. I might have new glasses.
Okay.
But new glasses, a little more gray hair.
All right, Ryan, thanks so much for the partnership we have at JTV with the Experience Jackson and the Chamber, and thanks for coming in today.
Always a pleasure.
Our 25th anniversary show with President and CEO of the Chamber and Experience Jackson, Ryan Tarrant.